Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. The honors go out to our apostles, elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Shalom wa barakyam to you brothers and sisters out there. Right out, this is Brother Malachiah from the Great Millstone Nashville camp. And Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. All right. We got a quote pulled up. Probably get another one because I saw another one that I figured I'd pull as well. All right, because I know I'm not the only one. All right, that is beating themselves up. As of recently, I know that for a fact, right? Matter of fact, is probably a lot of us, right? Especially as we're getting into, further and further down our spiritual journey. A lot more required. With a lot more required, we're not shying away from responsibilities, right? But we're, at least speaking, on myself, because it's something that I need to work on, my confidence and, discipline, right? Which, really they can go hand in hand, right? If you have low self-esteem and low confidence and, you don't have the positive outlook, on yourself, then you're not going to have the actions to support it. If you think that you ain't nothing and you ain't worth this and you can't do nothing right and you'll never change and I'm just a waste of space, then you're not going to be able to do things that would show forth discipline, because you're not going to have the drive to do it. I'm not even speaking about motivation, because we know motivation is not always going to be there, right? But you'll be surprised how certain qualities, negative qualities, can spill into a lot of other categories. All right, and it happens all the time. All right, that's just one example. If you have low self-esteem, low confidence, and your mind ain't in the right place, and you're just always beating yourself up and talking down on yourself, and you're not going to go far. All right, you're not going to have, the drive to do the things that you need to do in certain areas, which in turn over time will start resulting in you lacking, or stunted growth, which both of those things are things that we absolutely do not want. And it's a process, and it's a painful process, right? Can't nobody that's actually in this truth tell you that, it's easy, man. Overall, is there a lot required of us? No. Overall, we know it's a light affliction, but we also know that we're in the flesh. We also know that all the cards are against us in the aspect of we can't be perfect, right? You're not going to be where you want to be, right? Because there's always room to be better. There's never, at least there never should come a day where you're in the spirit of, nah, you know what? Yeah, I did enough, man. Yeah, I'm where I want to be. No. Because then we need to question, what are your goals? Where are you trying to end? Like, what is your end? Because we're trying to be like Yahweh Shai. That's not something that can be attained on this side. Not without divine intervention. Not without them new bodies. So every day is a fight. Every day is a battle against yourself. Your mind is very tiring. It's very wearisome. But that's why the scriptures constantly harp on the importance of not giving up. I would rather fail than quit. I would rather have low moments than have no moments. Okay? So I got a quote pulled up here. It's by Jim Rohn. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to pretend I do. I'm not saying he, didn't make a great book or, whatever he was known for. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't personally know who this man is, but regardless, this is a great quote. So I'm going to bring it out. All right, it says, remind yourself that you are bound to get better. Don't get down on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. It's the next opportunity that matters, not the last one. Because that's one thing I always think about every day, man. Every day. I would say at least for like the past month, for sure, maybe 2. It's very easy. It's so easy to tell yourself, I should have did this yesterday. I should have did that. I could have did this better. I could have did that. It's easy to say that because the day is over. It's always easy to look back at it and see what you could have did differently. It's even with like football games and stuff. Like when we're watching it from the sidelines, you know, from, oh man, he should have passed the ball. Oh, he should have ran down that hole. Oh, he should have wrapped up lower. It's easy to say that because you're not on the field. When you're in the moment, you're not thinking like that. You're trying to think like that, right? But you're just not at that point yet. You know, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to slip up somewhere. Okay, and it's always easy, and that's the importance of rebuke too. Because brothers are going to see things that you didn't see because you were a hothead in the moment. Because you were impatient in the moment. Because you weren't willing to sacrifice like you should have been in the moment. Because you weren't, meek in that moment. You know, whatever it was. It's easy to look at somebody else and to point out where they went wrong. You know, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to look at yourself and say, this is where I'm fucking up. It is. Right? Which is why the scriptures talk about the importance of examining yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. We have to examine ourselves every day. But it's bigger than just examining yourself, because examining yourself is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is amazing. That's the first step. All right, but we need action. We need progress. We need things to be done. All right, where do we go from here? Okay, you know that this is your problem. You know that your weakness is right here. You know this, you know that. What are we going to do to change this? All right, now this is basically, why I want to do this lesson, because you'll have times where you acknowledge and you're taking steps towards progression, but it might not be where you want it to be. Well, I want it to be here, but I still find myself down here. Well, you need to understand that you need time. You need to give yourself time. Okay? And Tawadi how by Shemel Shai, that we still have time. Okay? Because that's the thing. Do we want hell to break loose? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we wanted to get out of here yesterday. Absolutely, man. No question about it. But another day, before hell breaks loose, is another day to grow and to prepare. And don't be in that spirit of, certain things you might, I can't save money. But man, hell about to break loose, so who cares? No, that doesn't matter. It's bigger than how much money you have in your savings. All right, it's the principle of it. Are you able to save? Are you able to sacrifice? Are you able to deduct from, living a certain type of lifestyle that brings comfortability in order to have money in your savings? Right? Because that's something that I need to work on. I need to work more on savings. I have some progress with it for sure. And I will honestly say a good, it's not where I want it to be at all. I want to be way better than where it is. And I beat myself up every day. But the reality is, it's way better than it used to be. Way better. Same with other things. Which, this isn't a personal thing, so I'm not going to get into my personal affairs. Okay, but look, progress is progress, man. We need to step it up. We need to try harder, do better, but don't beat yourself up because the progress ain't where you want it to be. The question is it where the Most High wants it to be? For that day. Understand that too. That day. How the fuck are you expecting to have a weakness and overcome that in the span of a week? Because I think that's another quote. Hold on. Quote about I forgot how exactly it went. It was something about bad habits. That's a good one right there, though. Good intentions are usually crushed by bad habits. See, and this right here proves the scriptures, right? Because the scriptures mention how we're in chains of darkness, the flesh. It says bad habits are difficult to break due to a combination of factors, including the brain's reward system, the automatic nature of habits, and the difficulty in overcoming ingrained patterns. Our brains are wired to seek immediate gratification, which makes habits that provide instant rewards, even if harmful in the long run, more appealing and harder to resist. Habits also become deeply embedded in our neural pathways, making them feel automatic and difficult to interrupt. Okay, so what that literally just told me right there, and this is according to Google, right? That the scriptures are 100% on point, which there was never a doubt in our minds, right? That we believe in the scriptures. But this proves that we are indeed in the flesh, which shows that we do indeed need Yahweh by Shem Shai. We can't do this by ourselves, but we still have to fucking try to do the best that we can. All right. But what I wanted to bring a couple of scriptures out on was not beating yourself up. All right. Now don't use, oh man, I ain't going to beat myself up. You know, a little progress is better than no progress. But then you're using that as an excuse to still be low level. You're using that as an excuse to still keep giving into these bad habits, you know, like indulging in them. You know, no. You can't be like that, man. All right, once you acknowledge you have certain habits, you got to work at them. You got to work at them, bro. But you got to understand it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, bro. And that's especially why it's important not to compare, because it's very easy to look over to your right, look over to your left, look at elders, look at apostles, look at brothers in the camp, below or under you in rank. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because just because somebody's under you in a rank doesn't mean they don't have a category more down pat than you. That ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm thinking about a brother right now that's so-called lower than me in rank, and he's way better than me in a certain category. But I'm not going to compare myself to that man or compare myself to anybody else, because I've done that for many years in this truth. And by many, I don't mean literally like a lot, because I'm very young in the faith. Right, but I'm saying for a good portion of my walk, and all it does is destroy you, man. Breaks you down even more, because it's very easy to do that. You know, you focusing on a brother's gifts and a brother's, you know, accomplishments and where he's strong at. And then you look at, and it's your weakness. So you looking at that and you're like, well, damn, well, that's his strength. You think that man got that overnight? It took him a minute. He went through certain experiences to get to that point. You need to be patient with yourself. It is a process, man. Just like how the scriptures talk about gold being tried, silver being refined. Ain't that a process? So why the hell would this happen overnight? That's the equivalence of going to the gym for 1 week, coming out, damn, why ain't I jacked? It's been a week. How fucking quick you think that shit happens? I don't give a goddamn how much fucking protein you had. Well, I had 200 grams a day, which that's a lot. Like, damn. But that still ain't gonna get you swollen 1 week. That shit's gonna take months. Fucking 4, 5, 6 months, a year. Takes time. And bigger than just duration of time, it takes consistency. Okay? Because if you're not consistent, instead of something taking 3, 4, 5 months, it might take 8, 10, 2 years, because you're not being, consistency is key. All right, yeah, you keep falling short in this area, but are you getting better? Every week you see progress. Is there progress being made? That's what matters. All right, Romans chapter 3, verse 23. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. That's the bottom line. We're all going to fall. We're all like filthy rags. All right? We're all striving to be like Yahweh Shai, but falling short every day. Every brother got their battles, man. Every brother got their shortcomings. So don't look at a brother's strengths and beat yourself up because you're not where he is in certain categories. But also don't look at a brother's weaknesses and think that he ain't nobody. That brother can't do this. There's something that you can't do. Just because you can do something that this man can't don't mean that you perfect. Because that if you're in that mindset right there, that right there shows that you faulty. Because you're proud. If you see a brother having shortcomings and weaknesses, you help that man, bro. Pick him up. Pray for him. Give him advice. You know? Support one another when they fall. Ain't that what the scriptures say? 2 is better than 1 because then it help you up when you slip, right? So how the hell you seeing your brother slipping? You ain't helping him up. I can't believe that brother still can't do it yet. He still can't do this, still can't do that. Why are you still struggling with that? Because that could be one of his weaknesses. Because that's a category that he's falling short of. It's always easy to see a weakness in somebody else. Focus on the strengths of that man, bro. You know? Every brother got their strengths. Every brother got their weaknesses. Ain't nobody out here perfect. And at the end of the day, what is some of the most important things in this truth? Sincerity, faith, doing the work, being charitable, being brotherly. You know? Those are the main core things here. Let's not forget the fundamentals. All right? But we got to help one another out, and we all got to we just got to do better, man. Every day, we got to try. And we got to try, man. And it's a battle. But if you beat yourself up too much, bro, you're going to wear yourself the fuck out. And you're going to go from actually making some progress to, because you keep beating yourself up and thinking that ain't nothing coming out of it. And you're like, oh, man, I ain't where I want to be. Then you're going to push too damn hard and you're going to burn out. Let the process take its course, man. You know, and I'll say personally speaking, like the first few years of the truth, I didn't think too hard on certain particular things like I do now. Like now I examine myself a lot more than I did back then. Back then it was just more like a spiritual impulse, like faith-based. Like I just know I need to try to be well-rounded and get everything going. I just need to do what I can for the Lord. And now as you grow, you start to examine. You learn about yourself more. So you're examining things more. You see more of your shortcomings as you grow in the truth than you did when you first came in. But don't let seeing those shortcomings destroy you. Okay? And the fact that you see them is because Yahweh Shemel Shai wants you to see them and acknowledge them and fix them to the best of your ability through prayer, through fasting, through effort. Okay? See what else we got up here. It's getting hot in this car. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 76. And you notice how it keeps talking about sins. 1 John 3 and 4. Sin is transgression of the law. There's plenty of things that we be beating ourselves on. Like beating ourselves up about. And things that we be doing and stuff. It's not even a sin. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't take it seriously. That is not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're not even going off. So why the hell are you beating yourself into the earth, into an early grave, running your mental state into the dirt over some simple shit that ultimately ain't even a sin? You get what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. We all are still sinning and going off every day, but you might be worried about certain things that ain't even a sin. You're not even going off in the eyes of the Lord. But what does that show too, though? That shows sincerity. That shows you're really trying to be better, man. Just all around. You want to conduct yourself according to the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So meditate on that, man. Like, yeah, I fall short. I'm a sinner. I'm through. I need to do all these things better. but I'm still trying my best. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get saved because you fall short. You acknowledge that you fall short. All right? Like Scripture said, just man falls 7 times, man. Let me grab that one instead. You know, Proverbs 24:16, for a just man falls 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So just don't give up, man. Just get back up. Keep running. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Take breaks when you need them. Just take care of what needs to get done, man. You know? Matter of fact, because you can read that for yourself if you like, because it basically just goes into the Romans 3 that I brought out. 2 Ezra 16 and 76, talking about letting not your sins weigh you down. I'm going to get one more. I'm going to close, man. Philippians. And Christians will bring this out all day, but they don't really apply this. Right? Because they don't even know the Lord, man. They don't know Yahweh Shem Shai. There's also one in Luke, I believe, that says, through God, all things are possible. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengtheneth me. Don't ever think that you can't do it, man. Through the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Sharatazah, we can continue to just get flamed up, push harder, fix what we need to fix. But stop, please, 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 Bible Kashah, stop beating yourself up. Because I be noticing that too, man. Like, speaking personally, I'm saying about myself. I mean, we all catch hell, you know, in different ways. But a lot of times, like Brother's been saying, a lot of times the stuff is self-inflicted. And with me, a lot of times, my mind be making the shit bigger than it is. The stuff around me, but really stuff within my own self, within my own spirit. My mind be fucking trying to crumble me down like a fucking cookie. You know? This is a constant battle against your flesh, against your own mind. You know? And you got Satan and demons fucking around all up in there. That's why we got to continue to just seek Yahweh Shem Shai, go into the scriptures, seek counsel, tap into your videos, man. You're going to watch a video that's going to say, you know, give you an answer to something that you might hear an answer to a question that you haven't even thought of yet. And I can't even explain how, you know, like how to make that make more sense. But sometimes you might have, like, you're wondering, like, you're like, oh, my mind's in a dark place, and I know I need an answer for something, but I don't know what it is. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. Yada, yada, yada. And then you hear a video and you're like, oh shit, that might be it. That's what I need. I needed to hear that. And I didn't even know that I needed to hear that, but that was for me. You know, which it wasn't just for you, you know, it was for a lot of brothers and sisters, but you get what I'm saying. All right, so Lord, when that this lesson was edifying, exhorting, you know, be kind to yourself, man. All right, you're not perfect, but keep fighting to be. All right, so before I close, I want to give all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, B'Shem Rachak Wadash, the honors the Apostle, that was Great Millstone. Shalom.